Hey guys, welcome back to Dynasty Football Live. Today, we're going to be bringing you the NFC South draft grades. Get ready. This is going to be a fun one. They had a lot of exciting picks here. For me, it was, one of the divisions that actually improved the most. With that being said, as always, guys, I am Byron, my co-host Manny. We're going to get this thing kicked off and show you guys who we think you should be looking for in your Dynasty Football drafts. That being said, take it away, Manny.
All right. Our first team for the NFC South is going to be the Falcons. I think some people may think that Bijan was kind of a reach, not really a position of need with Algier, playing so well last year. But I think when you can get a running back of this caliber, when you have such a good established offensive line, and not only that, but also draft a guy who could have gone in the late first round, in the second round, I think you're already, have a good established line. You get another guy who can, plug and play right away with Bergeron. For me, it's not really a what do you call it? A reach. I think they've already told us what they want to do with their offense, which is run the ball, which is why I think they led the league last year in rushing yards, if not rushing attempts. So obviously Bijan is the star of this Dynasty Football rookie draft that's coming up for most of you, and he continues to be the number one pick. He's probably going to get a lot of carries, a lot of catches. It looks like they're using him all over the place. I heard they're kind of using him kind of like they used Marshall Faulk back in the day, just lined up all over the place. And he has that type of player who's very versatile. So for me, this is the B draft class. One of the guys that was one of the steals of the draft for me was Clark Phillips III. Going in the fourth round is a steal. This guy makes plays. He's extremely aggressive. If he was I think he's only 5'9", 5'8". If it was 6 feet, no doubt this guy would have gone in the first round. So for me, getting him in the fourth with that type of talent, ability is a steal. And I really like what the Falcons did here with the limited picks. Well, I get not that limited. They were missing 2, but it doesn't look like a lot of picks compared to some other teams. But I like the Falcons here.
Yeah, man, I thought they had the same grade. I was happy with doing the B. Bijan Robinson coming in there now totally messed up my Tyler Algier investment there. Thanks, Falcons. But, that's the name of the game these days in the NFL, man. I feel like it's not really going to hurt Tyler that much, man. I feel like it's going to be a 60-40 backfield there. I think, they'll let Bijan get his feet wet, and they'll bring Tyler Algier in there on some short yardage to goal line situations there. So don't sell your Tyler Algier stocks just yet. And like I tell everybody every year, man, a running back is only an injury away from the next guy coming up. So if you do own Tyler Algier, do not panic. Please don't panic and sell him. He is still worth a lot. So for me, I love the Bijan pick. He goes number 1 in every single one of our Dynasty Football drafts, including some super flex leagues. This guy is a can't-miss running back. So if you have the number 1 pick, here's your guy, Bijan Robinson. Another guy I really also was high on in this draft. I really, really, really thought they got great value, as you did with Clark Phillips III there out of Utah, stealing him in the 4th round. Very, very good, defensive back there. Also, Zach Harrison. A lot of people, they don't realize that the Falcons don't have that great of a defensive line. I thought he was an upgrade there at edge for them. So, for me, guys, it's a B grade. And Falcons, you're starting to look better and better every year, man. Got Kyle Pitts, got Ritter, got London. Here comes the running back. Man, you guys are doing some things on offense. So, way to go. B for the Falcons here.
Yeah, definitely looking better, better and better on the offensive side with all those weapons. Maybe next year they'll address the defensive side of things. Their defense was pretty bad last year. I'm surprised they didn't try to address some of those needs. Even though you did mention Harrison was there, but and Phillips obviously. But we'll see what happens with the defense. But yeah, B for us here. Next we have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I think for me, one of the, I wouldn't say biggest risers, but one of the risers of the NFL draft was Kalijah Kancey. I think what he did at the combine, running a 4.6, just gave a lot. Obviously, you can't really compare just anyone to Aaron Donald, but obviously being from Pitt as well, having a similar size, athleticism, and strength, I think it is easy to make that comparison. Not too much of a leap there, even though obviously it's Aaron Donald is probably one of the best NFL players in NFL history. But I think getting him here in the bottom of the first round is really good for them. One of the biggest needs they had, which I think based on who else was available in the first round, which is why they didn't go line, which I thought was their biggest need. Cody Mock here, dude is
A character.
he's kind of a freak. I like. It's one of those guys that you look at, you're like, that dude is he's gonna bring it every time. He missing teeth, long hair, a mauler in the middle. I think or in the line rather, because he's tackle, but he can't play guard as well. Really like those two picks. I think they address their needs. One of the guys that I really, really like, which I was kind of surprised because in my eyes, he was very similar to Mims, who went to the Broncos in the second round. Trey Palmer going in the sixth round. Like, I don't really quite have Trey Palmer going in the second round. I don't have Mims going in the second round. I have him more in the middle, maybe like a late third, fourth round pick. They both either went higher than we thought or lower than they thought, at least for me. But I think he could make an impact potentially. They lost a lot of their depth at wide receiver. And we saw what kind of long speed he has. He kind of could be a replacement for Scotty Miller, who I think he went to the Falcons, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll see what happens there. I thought that was a great value in the sixth round. Payne Durham out of Purdue, not extremely athletic, but really, really, really big tight end who can block and kind of do it all. It's just athletically not quite up to the level of one of the elite tight ends, as you would say, but definitely very well-rounded tight end and played really well for Purdue. Is just not as athletic or fast as other guys, but he's very, very reliable, and that's probably why he went in the fifth round. But I think it was good value for the kind of player that he is, and that's why I gave him a B. I think they, when you look at their draft, it's nothing too fancy or flashy. Nothing's gonna catch your eye. Like no Anthony Richardsons, no Bijans, no JSN. But I think based on their needs and what was available at the board at the time, I think they did a really good job. So for me, it's a B.
Yeah, I was a little underwhelmed on their draft after the first round here. I was just like, man, I don't know, man. For me, I felt like they could have addressed some things, especially on tight end being one of them. I did not see them not taking a tight end, but I guess they like who they have. For me, I like Kalijah Kancey. I think he fits well in their defense. I think he beefs that defensive line up. He is not Aaron Donald. Please, guys, don't compare Kalijah Kancey to Aaron Donald. He has some traits that Aaron Donald did. He plays with a low center of gravity, but
I mean, that's what I said. I didn't say he was.
I know, but I just don't want these cats saying, the Buccaneers drafted Aaron Donald. Guys, that is a rare breed of player in Aaron Donald. So for me, I think he resembles him a lot, like Manny said. But don't be thinking like, oh my gosh, if he's not Aaron Donald, Dynasty Football Live said he's Aaron Donald. So. Hey guys, so next off, the only player that I ever thought would match their logo, they drafted. Cody Mock looks like a Buccaneer. Got the interesting teeth, the red long hair. Really liked him. Really liked the pick here. Great offensive tackle. I did like Yaya Diaby out of Louisville. Great
Yeah.
defensive end. I like what they did there in the third. Um, don't really want to chatter too much about this grade too much, but Trey Palmer obviously is our only dynasty relevant player on this squad. So I see him going early to late fifth round. That's my grade on him, just because the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are so congested at wide receiver. So, with that being said, we're gonna go on to the next team here. It is a C minus for me for the Buccaneers. Sorry, guys, you just didn't really wet the old whistle there with those picks. But I, uh, I did like the beginning, hated the end. So
Yeah. I do like Yaya as well. I think, he's undersized, which I think it's why he was drafted in the third round. But I think he kind of reminds me a little bit of Duvermill, who
yeah,
was also undersized, and I think he went to Louisville too. So,
yeah,
we agree to disagree a little bit. At the end of the
yeah,
day, when you did mention you like the start, I think when you're building a team, um, you start in the trenches. So I think them getting a defensive lineman and a lineman kind of fits that strategy. And I guess we'll see what happens. We'll see how these pan out, and see if you think they're still a C later on, or if I think they're a B. We'll
yeah.
see. Next, we have the Saints. Um, when it comes to the Saints, I think Breezy definitely fell off a lot. I think he for a while there he was probably like top 10. Even going back to last year, their previous year, had some health concerns. Obviously, a lot of talent, great value at number 29. Um, I think Kendra Miller, this pick, dynasty wise, is kind of tricky for me. They have a lot of questions at the running back position. They have obviously Kamara. Is he going to be suspended? Is he going to, even if he's not suspended, is he going to be the guy we saw 2 years ago, 3 years ago, that was lighting up the dynasty? Or is he going to just fall off the faith, fall off a cliff and never be heard from again? We have literally no idea what's going to happen with Kamara.
Yeah.
Then they have Jamal Williams, which I thought, was a great pickup, but at the same time, it's like, well, you have Kamara, so they pick up him, kind of, okay, 1-2 punch, but then they draft Kendra Miller, who can kind of do it all, but I don't know where he fits with what they have. Obviously, if Kamara's out, maybe he'll get some more playing time, but it just seems like it's a little crowded. Not to mention, because Kendra Miller is a big back, not to mention they have, God, what's his name?
Jamal Williams.
No, not Jamal Williams, the quarterback.
Oh,
Quarterback type. Um,
oh, you talking about man, dude.
what is
I
his
just went blank.
name?
Oh man, this is bad. Okay, so for me, Mr. Do It All tight end. How could we forget about him? Oh my gosh, I can't remember his name either.
I'm upset right
Um,
now.
I'm totally upset. Well, guys, he's either
Hold on, hold
he.
on, hold on, hold on.
I will tell you this: this guy either goes nuts every week or falls on his face every week. That's how I feel about this guy. Totally forgot his name too. So,
Hold
yeah,
on.
it's man, I don't know why I keep thinking Jake Locker.
Taysom Hill. Taysom Hill. Okay, let's start over. Let's start over. They have Taysom Hill, who plays tight end. He plays quarterback. He plays receiver. He plays running back. He's going to steal a lot of touchdowns, a lot of goal line carries. He gets either he's very, very hot, very, very cold. He'll have 4 touchdowns in one game. He won't see a carry or a catch in another game. So with that being said, is kind of a complicated situation, even though he does have some draft capital here in the third round. We have no idea what the value is. Obviously, if you have Kamara, you should probably invest on Kendra Miller just in case, see what happens. In my mind, talent-wise, he has to be a second rounder. Landing spot puts him, in my opinion, more in the late second, early third. But at the end of the day, if you're running back needy, why not take a shot in the second round, and then maybe he'll get something, some playing time. As far as quarterback, I see they have Jake Haener,
Yeah.
not sure how to say it, but one of the things that I really like about this quarterback, and I know they have Derek Carr and they have Jameis Winston, he's actually extremely accurate. Definitely, obviously not going to be the starter right away, but I think he could potentially be a starter. So maybe I don't know if he's worth a stash or a draft pick right now, but definitely a waiver wire. If you have a taxi squad, maybe put him there. I think he definitely has the talent to be the potentially, if everything goes right, if AV develops, to be the eventual replacement for Carr. I think, if I'm remembering right, he led college football in catchable balls thrown last year. So that, if that helps you make a decision with that, but I really like him as a potential QB1 down the line. He can definitely maybe get a spot start here and there and be relatively successful. One of the guys that has really, really, really surprised me here in the 6th round is A.T. Perry. When you have someone with the size and speed that he has and the production, I was a little surprised he went this far down the line in the 6th round. I think maybe he's the next Colston, kind of similar size, kind of similar traits. Definitely drafted in the late part of the draft. I think he's definitely, in my opinion, obviously I'm not a GM, and they obviously didn't see stuff from him, which is why he was drafted in the 6th round. But I think he has the potential to be definitely a contributor this season, and we'll see what happens with Michael Thomas. And obviously a lot is going to be there for the long run, but definitely Michael Thomas is a question. We'll see what happens there. But for me, they're a B.
Yeah, I like the grade. I got the same grade. Brian Breesy, absolute steal for me at 29. This guy was mocked in the top 15 several times, all the way up until the draft for me. Get the guy like this. Poor guy lost his sister from cancer, from brain cancer. If you haven't watched the episode on ESPN about Brian Breesy, please go watch that. It almost made me cry, man. I am rooting for this guy. I hope this cat comes out and just absolutely kills it in the NFL. He's one of my favorite players in this entire draft. Dude is just is a monster defensive tackle. I really like Brian Breesy. So A+ on that pick. Isaiah Foskey, really thought that was another A+ grab there in the second. I really liked him coming out of Notre Dame. I think that he's going to be able to get after the quarterback. Kendra Miller, snagging him to back up or replace what they have as far as Alvin Kamara. He does a lot of the same things Alvin Kamara does. He can catch the ball out of the backfield. Very shifty running back. Another guy I really like is obviously A.T. Perry. Huge target. 6'5" wide receiver. This guy is going to be a nice little target for Derek Carr. So for me, I'm going to give them a B, and that's where I'm going to stay. I'm not going to get too much further into it, but the Saints did a very good job, in my opinion.
All right. And last, but definitely not least, the team who had the number 1 pick in the NFL, the Panthers. For me, I gave them an A-. I guess we didn't see quite eye to eye on this one, but I think obviously they gave a lot to get to the top pick and gave up a lot of assets to Chicago to get the number one pick. But at the end of the day, when you fall in love with a guy that could be the franchise quarterback, you got to do what you got to do what you got to do. And I think what they did specifically in 3 picks, which they only they only had 5. So I think for me, they hit on 3 picks for sure, at least in my opinion. Bryce Young extends plays, makes things happen when the pocket is kind of collapsing, extends plays, throws to, I mean, he's an incredible passer of the ball. I think his running is underrated, even though he doesn't run a lot. He can if he has to. I think Jonathan Mingo, he could have been maybe a surprise for some people being drafted this high and getting this draft capital. But I think he is right away, in my opinion, the number 3 wide receiver behind Thielen and Shark. I know they have Marshall there, but he's had a couple of years to kind of make a name for himself, or kind of be a guy there. Obviously, they have also God, what's the other guy? The guy from Jacksonville.
Chenault.
Yeah, they got Chenault too. He was, highly touted coming out of Washington, or Colorado rather. And obviously we've seen what happened with him. He got traded from Jacksonville to the Panthers. So for me, Mingo steps right into the slot, or the 3rd wide receiver rather. His size and speed are ridiculous. He makes a lot of plays. So right there we have, in my mind, 2 A picks. And one of the best picks for me, value-wise, and obviously they didn't have a lot of picks because they gave up so much to get Bryce Young, but I think Jamie Robinson from Florida State, the safety, is incredible. I think when you watch the film, he's extremely obviously he tested badly, which is why he fell to the 5th round, but when you see the film, that guy is a football player. He makes plays. He's extremely aggressive. I think when you see, it's kind of like what happened with Hyatt. You see him, running routes and beating people and just being wide open all the time, and you think, oh man, he's gonna run a 4.3, and then he runs a 4.4, and people think it's slow. Obviously when you compare the film or the game speed to the combine speed or performance or workout to whatever, I don't think it matters as much if you see it on film. If you see it on film, that kind of backs up, whatever. It could have had a bad day at the combine or the pro day. Like, if you see the play on the field, I think for me that's more important than what happens in the combine. So for me, getting Jamie Robinson in the 5th round was a steal, and I think he's going to be very good for that defense, and they have a really, really good defense there. So,
Yep. Oh yeah, man. I like what the Panthers did. For me, man, it's a crapshoot this year, man. You could go Anthony Richardson, you could go Stroud, you could go Bryce Young. I mean, pick your poison. Obviously, they saw what everyone else saw out of Bryce Young coming out of college. The guy is a playmaker. The guy does not have he doesn't have that breakable gene that most people do. He doesn't get flustered in the pocket. He doesn't get scared. He's not scared to make the big-time throws. This guy has balls of steel, and that's why I like Bryce Young. He's a playmaker. That dude will not stop until the whistle blows, and you got yourself a franchise quarterback. Now, let's go to his size. Let's go to everybody making fun of him, including myself when I first saw him standing behind his offensive line in his brand new Panthers jersey. It doesn't look very good, okay? But I assure you, almost 90% sure that this guy's going to be a superstar in the NFL if he can stay healthy. The guy's just got it. He's got that clutch gene in him that you just cannot teach. So, for me, Bryce Young, in your dynasty drafts, pick your poison. C.J. Stroud, Bryce Young, Anthony Richardson, you can see them how you want. 5 to 8, I see those guys possibly going that range, possibly off into the later of the first rounds. So, without a doubt, all 3 of those guys go in your dynasty drafts in the first round, or possibly mid to early second, however you see them. But for me, Jonathan Mingo, I did make a video about people potentially stealing him in the draft. That is no longer. He is going to be a for sure second round pick. possibly even a first-round pick. I can see him sneaking into the backside of the first round there, but definitely a high second-rounder. The only thing that concerns me here with Jonathan Mingo is not his talent, it's the congestion at the wide receiver position for the Panthers. They are absolutely stacked. They have Thielen. They have Marshall. They have Chenault. They have, now Mingo. It's a lot of players over there, man, and it's a lot of mouths to feed. So for me, be careful with the Jonathan Mingo pick, even though he is a talented Ole Miss wide receiver and those haven't missed lately. Just be careful because he may not see as many targets as you want him to see in his first year. Another player that I really liked was Jamie Robinson, as you said, out of Florida State. I feel like they produce playmakers in the NFL. I really like Jamie Robinson. I thought he should have been picked a lot higher than the 5th round. They got a steal there for him. For me, the grade is a B- here. So, way to go, Panthers. You're starting to build something nice there. I think that, the building blocks are there to be a playoff contender pretty soon. So, anything else we got here for our rankings? How we do here for our draft grades for the NFC South?
Well, I think the team that did, in my opinion, and I think I listed it here is the Panthers. I think they're the closest of the. Obviously, they moved up, but of the teams that were picking in the top 4, let's say, or top 5, even including the Colts, who are pretty close. Their defense is pretty good. Their line is good. They have some weapons there. I think the Panthers. Really their main, especially after free agency and they got after free agency they don't have a lot of holes to plug in necessarily. Their biggest weakness was maybe potentially the running back position after losing Foreman and McCaffrey. That was addressed with Miles Sanders. Obviously, they have receivers. Maybe they don't have a bona fide number 1 wide receiver just yet. Maybe Mingo is that guy. And obviously their biggest need. They've been kind of playing around with this, similar to the Colts, is the quarterback position. They had Darnold, and we saw what happened. He played very, very well with McCaffrey in the lineup, and then once McCaffrey got hurt, he was awful. Yeah. Then they got Mayfield, who, they ended up, cutting or trading away. I can't remember what happened with him, but he didn't work out either. And I think Bryce Young's the guy. Their defense is very, very good. They may be in the playoffs a lot sooner rather than later, especially with the NFC South not being, after Tom Brady left, that division. Yeah. It's really up for grabs. So we might see the Panthers win the division next year. We'll see.
Absolutely, guys. Hey, we hope that you guys continue to follow us. Please like and subscribe. We're almost at 50 subscribers. We need to get there. We need to start seeing some comments down below, too. We need to know how we're doing, how we're not doing. We need some suggestions, obviously. We like to hear feedback. So, guys, please get involved with this channel and help us grow. We are looking for, to get to 100 soon, guys. So, we're halfway there almost. So, thank you for being on this journey with Dynasty Football Live. We will have more of the draft grades coming out for the following, teams that we haven't discussed today. So please follow us. Check them out. We got more draft grades coming, a lot more exciting content coming on throughout the year. And as always, Dynasty Football out.